You see that performance? You're talking about the entire world was shook.
Hey you guys, what's up? It's me, MJFANGIRL, and I'm super excited because I'm here with my dad today.
Hello.
How have you been, Dad?
Good. Everything's great.
Yeah, it's been a while. If you guys remember, I had my dad on when we were just hitting 15,000 subscribers, and honestly, you guys, I'm super excited because we're almost at 40,000. So I asked my dad if he would come on here and talk a little bit about one of the most historic moments in Jackson family and Michael Jackson history. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. You are now watching MJFANGIRL TV.
Yes.
Alright you guys, so in today's video we're going to be talking about an iconic moment, Motown 25. So Dad, tell us, because you watched this live at home, didn't you?
Yes. When Motown 25 came out, it was almost like a sonic boom to the entire world. Why? Because everybody haven't seen Michael Jackson in a long time performing, and he kind of was out of the scene. After Motown, the whole entire group got together for Motown 25 anniversary. You got to see the Marvin Gaye, the Stevie Wonders, the Diana Ross, and everybody. But the world was looking to see Michael Jackson. Why? Because Michael Jackson, again, was not on the scene for a long time. And what I understand, he was out creating this album, Thriller, with Quincy Jones and others in the meantime. So when he decided to join at the last minute, they said Motown 25, because remember, he wasn't with Motown at the time, but he wanted to talk about his history and be a part of it. But he said, I want to be able to do what's coming off my new album. And see, that is what introduced the world to Thriller.
Now my question is, okay, now say they had done like this Jackson 5 reunion, or the Jacksons reunion with everybody besides Michael. Do you think a lot of people would have tuned in, or was it like a big thing that he was coming back?
Well, when Motown 25 anniversary was put together for television for the world to see, Motown, remember, Motown in itself was an entity, and it was major to see all those stars come together. But to see Michael added to that, everybody was wondering, was he going to be there?
Okay.
Because at the time the Jackson 5 had expired, it was only about the Jacksons, but Motown was about the Jackson 5. Motown 25 was about Motown. And the Jackson 5 was Michael Jackson, Jermaine, and Tina and all that, but again, that group had broke up. So to see Michael come back and perform live, everybody was wondering, was that going to happen? And guess what? It did happen. And it shocked the entire world. And when it did happen, it was like almost an amazing moment. Because it's something that everybody wanted to see happen, but wasn't sure.
Right. And that, actually, it's funny because when I watched the Jackson's American Dream movie, they made it seem like the Motown 25 performance is kind of like what even made the group come back together again to do the Victory Tour and all that. So it was a big start of something. Yeah.
No, it was a big start of something. And a matter of fact, if you think about it, Tell Me That I'm Dreaming, the album that Jermaine, his brother, had, it was a collaboration with them. They haven't had a collaboration in years. And because of Motown 25 and Michael Jackson finally getting back on the scene, I believe it propelled Tell Me That I'm Dreaming to another level as well.
Yes.
And I don't think nobody realized that.
You guys, you've got to listen to that song. If you have not heard Tell Me I'm Not Dreaming, that's, I believe that came out 1984, right?
Right.
The year after Motown, and Motown 25 rather. And so that's like an amazing song. And they ended up performing that on the Victory Tour. I think there's a reaction video on this channel to that. But that's one of the songs that my dad introduced me to a long time ago. And I was just like mind blown. Because it's so cool to hear them collaborating together like that, singing back and forth as adults.
Right. Matter of fact, is the two combinations of Jermaine Jackson and Michael Jackson is what was special for the Jackson 5. But when they broke up, this is the first time they finally came back together. And sure enough, by them coming back together, again, they had a #1 record on their hands. And another, what you call it, showstopper when it comes to that, when it comes to that song. But the thing about Michael Jackson, when he finally did Motown 25, like I said before, it was like a sonic boom. And the world was shocked. And beyond, besides the moonwalk, the world was just shocked to see how he entertained, because we haven't seen him entertain in a long time.
Right.
It's been a long time since you've seen the Jacksons actually entertained because Michael Jackson had stopped performing. And he was creating, I guess, Thriller and a lot of other things he was doing behind the scene. But what that did to the world, even my mother was shocked. I had so many people that called me up when it happened live. They were saying, "Did you see that? Did you see that performance?" You're talking about the entire world was shook.
Wow.
And I mean, forget about publicity, forget about hearsay, forget about the history. For the entire world, I'm talking about my mother, and my mother's quite older than I am. She's into Jackie Wilson and people like that.
Right.
For her to call me up and say to me, "Did you see that?" I understand that a lot of the greats, such as Fred Astaire and great artists that used to dance, they was all shook at the performance. They said it was one of the greatest performances they've seen in a lifetime. And that took him, in addition to Thriller, that took him to another level. So that Motown 25 anniversary collaboration with his brothers, and remember something, by it being Motown, look at all the people that was looking at the television because of Motown history.
Yeah.
Don't forget, you had the greatest musicians in the world from Motown, which was Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross, some of the largest, Smokey Robinson.
Yeah.
Those people in themselves were giants. And
Right.
Jackson 5 was part of that. But for him to outshine all those superstars, and they had their own history, even Marvin Gaye. Can you imagine that? Marvin Gaye, is the greatest he was.
Right.
When Michael Jackson came back after 10 years not performing. Remember, Marvin Gaye had Sexual Healing and other songs like that that made him a superstar while Michael Jackson was even still on the scene.
Right.
For him to come out and then Michael Jackson overshadowed all that, that was special. So that was a special moment for the entire, actually, United States of America, and it propelled him to the next level because the world was watching. And that's what made him, as far as I'm concerned, go global.
Right.
Because everybody was not just watching Michael Jackson. It was about Motown 25, which is all the great artists.
So it was like the perfect storm, I guess.
Perfect storm, and guess what? Who outshined everybody again? Not little Michael, but adult Michael.
Yeah, the king of pop.
The king of pop, And the thing about it is, I'm going to say it to you again, it was almost like a sonic boom. The whole world, I mean, the reaction to the world was, if you look at the news was talking about it on television, ABC, CBS, NBC. Artists would start talking about their reaction to what they saw. The audience was talking about they can't believe what they saw. It's one thing when I talk about the history of seeing Michael Jackson perform over the years, from the Jackson 5s to the Jacksons, live in concerts, Madison Square Garden, and all different type of forums. But then when the entire world get to see Michael Jackson, I'm talking about every facet of life, to see him perform, which they didn't see.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know it. This is the first time they got to see him, and what they got to see was a star-studded performance. And when they saw that, that's when you have what you call a global reaction to a superstar that nobody has achieved.
Yeah.
Nobody, if anybody achieved that type of a global star, that would have been, as far as entertainment is concerned, it was close to that. It would have been Elvis, but again, Elvis was not able to go global because of his contracts and things like that. They didn't let him go global.
Right.
So Michael Jackson was able to cross a line that I don't think nobody was able to cross over.
Yeah, and still to this day, I mean, I see all the time on YouTube, people watch Motown 25 Billie Jean for the first time and they're shocked, like kids, and even them, when they watch it, they're mind blown by his star power and just, the energy of that performance.
The thing about him, I'm going to say it to you again, that the world are never going to see another performance like that, or performer, because it's hard to capture everybody on the same page at one time, and everybody on the same level of excitement as one person that created. That was Michael Jackson. And that's hard to do. A lot of times when you see everybody united, it's usually generally saved for like the president, because he's a president of a country, and you only have one person that speaks for an entire country. But when you have a performer that rises above everybody, because of Motown 25, that's a whole nother level of star power.
Yeah.
And believe me, he took it to another level, because after that, he was in the stratosphere. Michael Jackson was untouchable, and it's unfortunate that I don't think we're ever going to see another entertainer that could take us to that level.
Yeah, me either. He set the bar so high.
You can never, right? And I'm talking about and it wasn't just because of that performance. Remember, that performance was a collaboration of history, of him being little Michael to adult Michael to so many different levels of generations. Remember, my generation knew the Jackson 5. My daughter's generation knew Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, that's almost 30 years
Right.
of history. And all of Michael Jackson 5 Motown #1 records, my daughter wasn't privy to those. She had to listen to that. But the whole world knew Michael Jackson the 5.
Right. That's
You
true.
know, and that's the difference. And now she know him as Michael Jackson to the next level. I don't think there's another entertainer out there that can say that. They can make that type of crossover through generations.
I don't think so either.
You know, I remember I was a teenager in school, and Michael Jackson had #1 record. And I'm talking about, that's me. And Michael Jackson, right, and now Michael Jackson had a #1 record for my daughter. And I had I Want You Back was a #1 record. That's a generation of, from one set of parents to the children. That's longevity. You ask me how, what did he do, and how was it to the entire world? Well, you know what? It's fascinating. And again, you're never going to get that type of excitement. And don't forget, this man has worked, like they said, they call James Brown the hardest working man in the world at the time, but Michael learned how to entertain from James Brown, took it to another level. And I don't think I know anybody on a serious level that could spin on every show like Michael Jackson without getting busy. And I'm talking about, forget about my age teenager, as he started as a youthful kid to being an adult spinning. You know how difficult that is?
Yeah.
It's very difficult. So for him to be able to do that at his age for the last 30 years is something in itself is magnificent. Well, so, you know, you're not going to hit that. That's not going to happen again.
Right. I agree.
You know?
And I think that we should, you know, I mean, people have been asking for this for a while. What do you say we watch Motown 25 and react to it live right now?
Yes, we do that. I mean, be honest with you, when you know how you can tell when something is really great and significant, because no matter when you saw it, where you was at, and what you was doing, it brings back memories just like you were there yesterday.
Yeah.
That's the difference of greatness. And you know what? If you put Motown 25 on right now, it's almost like every move, every song, every lyric, every stage of the concert or that show, I can remember because it was that great and that fascinating.
Wow. Well, let's go back memory lane. And here is Motown 25. Here they come. And this is the first time Jermaine is back with them in years, right?
Right, right.
Everybody clap your hands, come on.
I don't know if you noticed the dance style. See the style he's doing right now?
Uh-huh.
If you notice, that's Billie Jean.
Right.
He's mixing Billie Jean with the Jackson 5 right now.
Oh, yeah?
That's a whole new character. Because guess what? At the time, when he dancing with the Jackson 5, they was all in sync. And the three brothers all did their thing. What he just did, he took this whole choreography to another level. He actually put himself on top of the Jackson 5 choreography and made Billie Jean dance with the Jackson 5.
Got it.
So look at him now. See that? See that? That's Billie Jean right there.
Right.
That's not the Jackson 5.
Interesting, because you know, me watching it, I would never know that.
Right.
But that's how everybody perceived it at the time. We're like, whoa, what's he doing, right?
Right, right. What he did is he took, like I said, the character. Look at Billie Jean. See him? Look at his hands in the pocket.
Yeah.
He took that character and added to the Jackson 5. That means he took the Jackson 5, the Jacksons, and now it's Jackson 5, Jacksons, and Billie Jean.
Wow.
That's what he did as far as the greatness.
Right.
Because they used to dance in unison together back in the day. And now
he kind of
he kind of switched it up. See that? That's Billie Jean. Okay, that's the Jacksons right there.
Randy. Was that a surprise, or everybody kind of knew he was coming?
Well, I'm quite sure that was created because remember, Randy was part of Jackson's.
Oh, right.
And Jermaine was gone.
Mm-hmm.
So now they added him because he was part of the Jacksons.
Right. I guess, yeah.
That's why he came out.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because remember, they got to show the history of the Jackson 5, the Jacksons, and now Michael's going to take it to another level with Billie Jean.
Okay.
As a solo artist. That's what that was all about. And that's exactly what he did. This here right now separated him from the Jackson 5 completely when he did Billie Jean.
Wow. I'm so excited. Okay. I like hearing your perspective, you know, because it brings a lot of history, context.
Yeah, this reason I said this was a shocker, and it took him to the next level. How can you top the Jackson 5? How can you top the Jacksons? He topped all that.
Yeah.
And remember, they were great in their they had their own greatness.
Right.
He took it to another level.
You're so right about that.
Think about that. He took it to another level. That means, if you think about it, he moved himself to the forefront in addition to him always being in the forefront. Mm-hmm. He went to the forefront and jumped over everything.
Right.
With Billie Jean.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at Michael Jackson now, you see him, he's singing, and he's always been the lead singer. But once again, what everybody's looking at is the entertainer.
Right.
Because they all knew he was always the lead singer. But when he did this Billie Jean number, that changed everything.
Wow.
The good thing about this too, what I like is he still had that voice that everybody can remember. And Emily, remember something? He was a very young child when he started, and his voice was very high. And he still had that special uniqueness, falsetto voice that anybody just can't emulate.
Right, it's so true.
And like I said, he's still doing another. See this part here? This is history for him because Jermaine had left.
Yeah.
And when Jermaine left, guess what? The Jackson 5 continued their career.
Right.
And for him to join with his brother right now, this is the first time we've seen him join with Michael Jackson. I'm talking about in, I would say, since the Motown era.
Yeah,
since Jackson 5. You know how long that was? Ever since they had shake your body down to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy yourself. You're talking about that era. Jermaine was not part of that.
Right.
That's a lot of years in between.
Yeah, so this had a lot of impact on people.
Yes. Yeah, I think this is almost the perfect, I'll say the perfect storm for Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Michael, perfection.
Right.
Perfection.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the pinnacle of, this is the top. This is like what people model their performances after is Michael, you know? And this is one of the biggest ones.
Well, you know, if you look at the acts that are out there now, they can emulate, but they can't. They can imitate, but they can't emulate. This man here is a whole nother level.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because this is all original stuff.
Right.
And the only one who could do something like this here would be him and his brothers.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are a lot of boy groups out there, main group out there. They can't. This is a whole nother level. You know, I mean, not just to mention his talent and his voice, but his voice is like almost like an instrument.
Yeah.
You know that? I mean, you know that say he and it's part of a song.
Right.
You know that?
You're right. It's because people always say, "Oh, Michael didn't play instruments or whatever," but like he used his vocals in so many different ways.
Exactly. Yeah. See this piece here, and it's funny how he arranged things too.
Mm-hmm.
See, let everybody know. You know what? Guess what? This is my brother, and I'm glad to see him and all my brothers together.
Right.
That's special moments. Jermaine, Michael, Tito, Marlon, Jackie. Look at Michael. Michael said, "Okay, that's one era."
Tito was like, "Go the wrong way." Okay.
And that's another era.
Right.
Thank you.
Now this is a new era.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, those, I have to say, those were the good old days. I love those songs. Those were magic moments with all my brothers, including Jermaine. But, you know, those were good songs. I like those songs a lot, but especially I like the new songs.
The new songs. I forgot he said that. There he is, telling us, Billie Jean, this is my new thing.
Again, best quality you can see. The voice is quality,
Yeah.
the music is quality, and now the performance is quality.
Mm-hmm.
You put that together, it doesn't get no more magnificent than that. You know? So, I don't know, it's just spectacular. And like I said, I can remember the day this happened. It was just like it was yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Was this like a weeknight or a weekend or a Sunday or something? Probably a weekend, right?
No, actually it was the middle of the week.